right, everyone. Welcome to Chair's Dinner. It's the 135th, I believe. I think I'm losing my voice. So what I want to do is introduce you to somebody who really needs no introduction. Been around the chamber movement for 130 years? No, sorry. Well, a lot of people ask me, what does Victor do? I'm going to tell you what Victor does. He is the president and CEO of the Canada-India Business Council. He is the chair of Saskatchewan's Innovation Place, and he's the chair of Care Canada. Let's give a warm welcome to Victor Thomas. Victor.
Thank you very much, John. And John, I just want to take a moment and to say that, you've been racking up some awards lately. In 2019, you won the Canadian Red Cross Saskatchewan Humanitarian of the Year Award, the Saskatchewan Chamber Builders Award, and in 2019, also Regina's CTV Citizen of the Year Award. And in 2013, you were honored nationally with the Chamber Executive of the Year. But as this community knows, in 2018, you found out you had cancer. And though you've had some very tough times, you, instead of sitting back, have stepped up and have decided with Steve and such other prominent leaders in our community to form the Garage Band and to raise over $2 million for the health services and for our most vulnerable in our province. John, this year you'll be celebrating 20 years with this chamber as CEO. And as I was thinking about it, I've gotten to know you over the last 17. And I can easily say that I would not have gotten involved if it wasn't for you and your leadership. You were a champion for diversity, you were a champion for Indigenous, well before those things were popular. And I want to take a moment to thank you, your wife Taya, and your 6 kids for the amazing contributions you've done to this community, to this province, and to this country. Thank you, John. This is very special for me to be here. 135th Chair's Dinner. It was exactly 10 years ago that I had the good fortune of being inaugurated to this very day. And it is especially historic because yesterday, we just watched the inauguration of President Biden in Washington, D.C. And we also saw the first woman, South Asian, African-American, in Kamala Harris as Vice President of the United States. But today, as we celebrate our 135th anniversary and Chair's Dinner, we are inaugurating our first Black Canadian as chair of this chamber, Mr. Collin Pullar. And since 1886, this, of course, is also our first virtual inauguration, which we're very happy to celebrate, and we're going to have a few distinguished guests throughout the night come and share with us. Let me start off with something special. We have Collin's nephew, William Leathers, who is son of his sister Donna and brother-in-law Howard, to play O Canada. Collin is not just any musician. In 2019, William was one of just 3 trumpeters and the only Canadian to be accepted to the elite undergraduate program at the legendary Juilliard School of Music in New York. Last year, the 19-year-old became recipient of the prestigious Kovner Scholarship, the only multi-year scholarship at the school. He recorded this rendition of O Canada from his sister's home in Mississauga and shared it with us tonight to celebrate his uncle, William Leathers. Wow. Just remember that name, William Leathers. Tonight we have many dignitaries with us, virtually of course, and other than our esteemed speakers that we'll hear from tonight, we have several that are online, including the Honorable Vaughan Solomon Schofield, Saskatchewan's 21st Lieutenant Governor. We have Michael Cram, the MP for Regina-Wascana. We have Elena Young, the MLA for Regina University. Trent Weatherspoon, the MLA for Regina Rosemont. Nicole Sauer, the MLA for Regina Douglas Park. And Councillor Trina Shaw from the City of Regina. And I guess normally I'd say please recognize them in the confines of your home. Please recognize them with me. Next, we have Derek Myers, one of Regina's newest MLAs who represents the constituency of Regina Walsh Acres. He is a member of the Standing Committee on Human Services. You might recognize him from his 10 years with Global Regina covering sports right across the province. He met our incoming chair live on television at the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League's 2020 showcase, coincidentally also sponsored by SaskTel. Derek, please come and bring greetings on behalf of SaskTel, our long-standing presenting sponsor for this event.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Victor. And good evening, everyone. It's my distinct pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of SaskTel and the government of Saskatchewan. SaskTel is honored to be a key sponsor of this event for 20 years. So just as long as John's been around, I guess. We'd like to thank the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce for organizing this virtual event. Before going any further, I'd like to take a moment to respectfully acknowledge that in Saskatchewan, we are on the traditional territories of many First Nations and Métis people. As we gather virtually here in Regina, or wherever you're tuning in from, I guess, on Treaty 4 territory. We recognize the history, the culture, and the contributions of local First Nations people, and how we are all beneficiaries of treaties and treaty relationships. Now, I'm sure we can all agree as we join in our basements, or I saw some kids tuning in, and a glass of wine or two, that it's been a very turbulent and a very different year for our local businesses as well. This pandemic has presented new challenges that our entrepreneurs and our businesses have had to bravely confront head on, and they've done a fantastic job. But as each challenge presents itself, the Chamber has remained strong, committed, and an influential voice for the business community as a whole. I'm confident they will continue to help each and every one of them thrive into the future. Special thanks going to our outgoing chair, Sarah Kachuk. Her dedication to the Regina Chamber and her leadership over this past year have greatly served to benefit Regina's business community through this tumultuous time. And we'd like to thank her for her efforts and wish her all the best in her future endeavors. But tonight, of course, we are here to welcome the Chamber's newest chair of the board, Collin Pullar. Collin has served as president of the Saskatchewan Construction Safety Council since 2014. With past leadership experience in labor and economic development, Collin has a skill set which will undoubtedly help all of our members achieve their goals, their aspirations. We're pleased to congratulate Collin on his new and exciting journey with the district, with the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce as 2021's chair. As well, though, we do hope he keeps doing the carpool karaoke as well. I hope that never goes away, Collin. SaskTel and the government of Saskatchewan are proud to be a part of this inaugural event. We welcome Collin and wish him all well in the year to come.
Because this is the chair's event, we have several of the past chairs confirmed who are attending tonight, and I'll just mention them briefly. Del Reimer, 1993, Wayne Bernikevich, 2004, Fred Titanich, 2008, Corey Furman, 2012, Gord Archibald, 2013, Tyler Willocks, 2017, Ahmed Malik, 2019, and Sarah, of course, we'll be hearing from later this evening. Next, we have the great privilege to introduce the Lieutenant Governor. He served for 36 years with the RCMP and was posted to 7 provinces, performed duties in every province and territory, and participated in exchange with the Northern Territory Police in Australia. He was born and raised in La Ronge and is a member of the Lac La Ronge Indian Band. His honor is our province's first Indigenous Lieutenant Governor, and is flew in Cree, which is amazing. Since he took on the role during the summer of 2019, I've had the pleasure of connecting with his honor and her honor as they've gone around, and today, of course, we're going to hear from him virtually.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, hello, Dansi. I'm grateful to the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to offer greetings as the new board chair is sworn in. First, I want to acknowledge and thank outgoing chair Sarah Tkachuk for her commitment to the chamber. My thanks to Sarah and all the board members for providing leadership during a very difficult year. I congratulate Collin Pullar as he takes on this important role. Thank you, Collin, for your ongoing contributions to the chamber and to our community. Your diverse education and experience will be a tremendous asset. I wish you the very best in your time as board chair. I also want to thank CEO John Hopkins and the staff for providing excellent services throughout the year, and especially during these uncertain times. And finally, my sincere thanks to the chamber members for supporting the efforts to limit the spread of COVID and for your innovative solutions to the challenges you have faced this year. It's remarkable that this is the 135th chair's inauguration. You have inherited a remarkable legacy of service. Thank you all for honoring that legacy through your contributions to the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce and to our province. In closing, I am pleased to bring greetings on behalf of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada. And in the spirit of reconciliation, I would also like to share these greetings in my first language, which is Woodland Cree. Elizabeth II. Canada.
Thank you very much, Your Honor, and also thank you for speaking your native language and bringing greetings as such. What a rich part of our community and our history, and also a very important part of our future. Next, we have the Premier of Saskatchewan. Premier Moe has served as Minister of Environment, Minister of Advanced Education, Minister responsible for Sask Water Corporation, and the Minister responsible for Saskatchewan's Water Security Agency. Premier Moe's priorities include increasing Saskatchewan's export to create opportunities for people and further grow Saskatchewan's economy. I was fortunate to attend Premier Moe's first trip to Asia in 2018, and as we are one of the highest export jurisdictions in the world, and I'm so happy, even in challenging times, to see his commitment to international office, of course, including India opening up this year. The Premier of Saskatchewan, the Honourable Scott Moe.
Hello, everyone. I'm very honored to take part in the Regina and District Chamber's 135th Chair's inauguration. And let me say thank you to the Chamber for ensuring the continuance of what is a grand old tradition. And thank you to the sponsors and all of those participating here this evening. Folks, to say the last few months have been extraordinary is to vastly understate the matter. Not only are we witnessing history, we are living through history, a lot of history in a very short period of time, and it hasn't all been easy. Particularly for the businesses that create opportunity, jobs, and drive growth and contribute so much to our province. There's great uncertainty, but there are some things that we can count on. The character of our people and the leadership that we have in our communities. The Regina and Districts Chamber has been blessed with strong leadership from the very beginning. I know you join me in thanking Sarah Tkachuk for her strong stewardship during what was a very challenging time. And Sarah, I'm very grateful for all that you have done. Tonight we welcome Collin Pullar as the new chair. Like John Hopkins, Collin was born in Toronto, but he moved to Regina before he even started kindergarten. So I think it's fair to say that Collin is Saskatchewan through and through. And I don't know whether Collin cheers for the Leafs like John does, but if he does, then I guess that misery does love company. And I say that as an Oilers fan. I'm very familiar with misery. Collin has served as president of the Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association since 2014. He's worked in government, he's worked in the private sector. He brings a breadth and depth of knowledge and experience that will be hugely beneficial as we focus on the province's recovery from this global pandemic. I understand Collin is an admirer of General Collin Pullar. Well, General Powell once said this: "There is no end to the good that you can do if you don't care who gets the credit." Well, that comment nicely captures the spirit of our government's relationship with the Chamber. We have a strong partnership, a partnership that is rooted in the common desire to see our province grow and prosper. We reached out to the Chamber for guidance as we designed programs intended to support businesses during the pandemic. Programs like the Small Business Emergency Payment, the Reopen Saskatchewan Training Subsidy, and the Saskatchewan Tourism Sector Support Program. We chose the Chamber to oversee the Together We Stand campaign that encourages people to support our local businesses and communities across this province, and in doing so, support their employees. And we'll be consulting with the Chamber on what we can do next to ensure Saskatchewan emerges from the pandemic stronger than ever. Folks, the end of the pandemic is on the horizon. Our vaccination program is picking up speed, and the very fundamentals of our economy have not changed. We have the resources, we have the knowledge that a growing world will need. We have the entrepreneurial drive to leverage those advantages as we build a stronger Saskatchewan. And we have government policies in place that are going to support the recovery, including record infrastructure spending and lower taxes on small businesses. So Collin, I want to take this opportunity to wish you the very best as you take on your new responsibilities. We look forward to working with you in the days ahead. We're going to get this province back on its feet. We're going to do so together and sooner rather than later. So thank you again, everyone. Take care and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much, Premier Moe. I don't even know how you weaved in there the Leafs and the Oilers, but you did also use the word misery. But moving on, we have next Greg Fergus, who's the Parliamentary Secretary to the President of the Treasury Board and to the Minister of Digital Government. He is the Member of Parliament for Hull Aylmer, and Collin and Greg Fergus met back in 2019 when Collin was invited to meet with the Minister for Small Business and Export Promotion and other members of Parliament to provide perspective on how to support the growth of minority entrepreneurs and business leaders in Canada. Greg will bring greetings on behalf of the Government of Canada.
Thank you, Victor, for that kind introduction. I'm Greg Fergus, Member of Parliament from Hull Aylmer and Chair of the Parliamentary Black Caucus. And it is indeed my honour to extend on behalf of the Government of Canada our heartiest congratulations to Collin Pullar on becoming Chair of the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce. Collin is the first Black Saskatchewanian to assume this role. And the first visible minority one, of course, goes to Victor. It is my understanding that this year's Board of Directors is the most diverse Board of Directors in the Chamber of Commerce's 135-year history. This is a big deal. It means that your Chamber of Commerce will be resilient and will have the best ideas going forward that will appeal to the greatest number of people. It also gives you a real head start in terms of being able to export your products and services to countries around the world. I've known Collin for about 2 years when we first met at the roundtable that was organized by the then Minister for Small Businesses. He struck me as a leader then. Although he might have been always the only Black kid in the class when he was growing up, it's amazing how much Regina and Saskatchewan has changed so much once again. And this is what has always established Saskatchewan as a real leader. So to Collin, to his family, especially to Grandma Joyce, I just want to wish you all the best of success for a wonderful year ahead, and looking forward to hearing great stories about the prosperity that the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce will create for its members. Good luck. Have a great evening.
Thank you, MP Greg Fergus. Next, we have MP Warren Steinley, who is, of course, the Member of Parliament for Regina Louvain, and before that, he was MLA for Regina Walsh Acres. He now serves on the Standing Committee for Agriculture and Agri-Food, as well as being Shadow Minister for Economic Development and Internal Trade. Over the last number of years, Warren and Collin have had many conversations about supporting the construction industry and broader economic growth in Saskatchewan. And I'm told these discussions have happened over some nice meals and also even over plates of wings. Hey, Collin, I want to be invited. Collin and Warren frequently have spoken at common industry events over the past 6 years and have worked together. MP Warren Steinley.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Warren Steinley. I'm your Member of Parliament for Regina Louvain, and it's my honor to be here on behalf of our leader, Aaron O'Toole, and the Conservative Party of Canada. First and foremost, I want to congratulate my friend, Collin Pullar, on being named the 135th Chair of the Regina Chamber of Commerce. The Regina Chamber does great work throughout the year, and you see it now more than ever during the time of this pandemic, where they continuously promote shopping local. The local small businesses are the backbone of our community, and they hire our friends and neighbors, and they deserve all the support we can give them. Another time that I remember the Regina Chamber coming together with one voice was in 2017, when the Liberal government tried to foist increased small business taxes across our community on members of the Chamber. The Chamber came together and stood up and said, now we cannot afford tax increases. And with the help of people across the country, the Liberal government backed down and shelved those tax increases. CEO John Hopkins has done a fantastic job reaching out and being a voice of his members. And I know through Collin's work with the Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association, he'll bring a similar passion that John has for this membership. Collin will be driven and work hard and be a strong advocate for businesses across Regina. As the Shadow Minister for Economic Development, I look forward to working with John, Collin, and all businesses in our community to ensure that we foster an atmosphere of economic growth and prosperity and recovery after this pandemic. Collin, I look forward to working with you. Congratulations, and I know you'll serve the community well. Everyone have a great evening, and I'm looking forward to seeing each and every one of you in person when we can.
Thank you very much, Warren. On November 23rd, Regina got a new mayor sworn in. Sandra Masters as Regina's 35th mayor and first elected female mayor. She is proudly Saskatchewan and grew up in the prairies and has called Regina home for more than 20 years. Prior to being elected, she was employed in the agricultural sector. Her professional career has included commercial real estate, banking, and financing. A corporate and community leader who has volunteered her time, energy, and passion to coaching and volunteering with Regina Hockey and the Lakeview Elementary School. Prior to running for mayor, Ms. Masters served on the board of the Regina Exhibition Association with Collin. And she's also mom to 4 children and grandmother of 1, and I'm told, and counting. With that, please welcome with me the new mayor of Regina, Sandra Masters.
Thank you, Victor. I've learned something already this evening, and that's what you do. It's been a mystery. Thank you so much, and good evening to everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening of all evenings. It's my pleasure to bring greetings to the Regina Chamber of Commerce on behalf of Council in the City of Regina. The Chamber of Commerce is critically important as an organization and as a voice of business in our community. And it's one that the City of Regina works with closely. I know they've been instrumental in helping design some of our recovery plans, and we look forward to that continuing. More than that, the Chamber provides important leadership and is a vital voice for our community. As elected officials, it's important as we listen to residents that we also listen to small business, large business, the individuals that work in business, and I commend you for continuing to carry their voice forward so that we can stay in touch with the needs of our citizens. As I continue on this journey, I was somewhat counting on having more than a 60-day honeymoon period, but I'm actually really happy to participate in the work and the advocacy for our business community. John was very gracious when I was first elected, reached out and offered assistance, and has regularly conversations with me, and I appreciate that. Mr. Collin Pullar, your incoming chair, and I served on the board, as Victor mentioned, and he was wonderful to work with, and as an acquaintance and a friend, I'm very much looking forward to continuing having the support of the Chamber of Commerce for me and to offer support to Collin and to John and the rest of the board moving forward in my term and in yours, Collin. You have an impressive background, but what's more impressive to me always is your passion for our city and for every role that you undertake. I have all the confidence that you'll be a strong leader for the Regina Chamber of Commerce, for our community, and for the businesses that thrive here. These are challenging times. We've heard each of the speakers before me mention that. And I am comforted again by your leadership and your taking the helm, Collin, and your friendship, John, in coming out of this better than we entered it. We've seen some very promising entrepreneurial activity the last several years, and we want to make sure we continue to grow and capitalize on that momentum, and that our city is an environment where business wants to locate, wants to operate, and has our support. I appreciate the values outlined in your strategic plan that are over my head on the screen. To lead, empower, and connect. We're nothing without each other. Our city and business community need all hands on deck right now. Congratulations to you, Mr. Pullar, and all the best to you as chair of the Regina Chamber of Commerce. I look forward to working with you and the rest of the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor McMaster. Next, we have John Hopkins, the CEO of this chamber, to talk about our outgoing chair. John Hopkins.
Well, nothing really happened this past year. Started off, I can't remember what was going on when it started off. I think we were doing something. Was that Uber back then or something like that? I can't remember what it was. But my oh my, did this year change. And it changed really quickly with COVID-19. None of us could have foreseen what would happen, not only to the people out there who are literally dying, like our friend Woodsy in this community. So many people know you, and may you rest in peace. But people are literally dying out there, and we recognize that as a chamber. And so we've always said that people need to maintain their safety, and we need to stay safe. But we also needed to speak up on behalf of our economy, and Sarah was very instrumental. Like the Premier said, we had a meeting with the Premier, talked to the Premier about what are small businesses really saying. I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to tell you this. This is how it really works. I mean, there's a lot of organizations like Chambers of Commerce and different business groups and all of these, groups that come and lobby government and say, oh, people need this and people need that. But what I found is what governments really want is to hear from the people that are actually out there, that are actually signing the checks and paying employees and staying up in the middle of the night. And so, Sarah, you were instrumental in that. And I can't thank you enough for your support. We kind of just went out there, and typical Regina Chamber fashion, it's like, let's go now. And you were there to support us as a team to do that with the Together We Stand, YQR Together We Stand, which turned into the Together We Stand SK campaign. And so we were absolutely thrilled that you were the chair this year. And just as a token of our appreciation, if you wouldn't mind coming up here and taking accepting this would be wonderful. And I'll never forget when I did Victor Thomas's, I gave him his gift. This is a real quick story, but people love stories. So Victor, I traveled all over the world with Victor, like literally India, Mexico, we were all over the place. And everywhere I went, people would say, does Victor own a pair of jeans? And I'd say, I don't know, maybe go ask him. And so on his night, we went and bought him these pair of jeans that, I can't remember, Wranglers or something like that. I don't know what they were. And I said, here's your gift, Victor, a pair of jeans. And his face was like, what's going on here? And then I gave him the real gift and the story on that one is his parents invited somebody to stay with them, and they ripped down his Michael Jordan poster. And he was pretty upset about that. And so we got him a signed Michael Jordan poster, which was pretty cool. Well, he thought it was a pair of jeans. Come on, Victor. We didn't get you a pair of jeans either. But thank you so much for everything you've done this year.
Thank you very much, John. And thank you, honored guests, and all of you that are joining us virtually here tonight to celebrate the Regina District Chamber of Commerce and the induction of our new chair. What a year it has been. Yes, as John said, it is. Who could have thought a year ago how this was going to unfold? I think many of the individuals in the role before me, and maybe Victor would agree, that the year passes very, very quickly. I recall a year ago, a former chair approached me and expressed that the role of chair involved a number of meetings and receptions and dinners and lunches and breakfasts, and I should attend all of them and really make the most of my year as chair. So I attended a number of Zoom calls, and I attended Teams meetings and conference calls, and it was definitely a very different year. I am very proud of the work that the Regina Chamber is doing in our community. I want to say a huge thank you to the team, Brianne, Jeanette, Lisa, and Christina, and we have 2 new additions at the Chamber this year, Tony Plater and Nicole Shepard, and they're all doing an amazing job for our community. And of course, what's any great band without a lead guitarist? Besides some great entertainment, John has provided us with amazing leadership in a very challenging year. The Chamber's work on the Together We Stand campaign and the information and resources around COVID has been incredibly valuable to many members. I know many people have said that, and I think our community has an appreciation for the value of local businesses and how important they are to the lifeblood of Regina. I also want to say a huge thank you to my fellow board members this year, in particular Ahmed Malik, who is the past chair and now coming off the board, and I really appreciate his support and leadership. And this is a great group of people, and I'm very excited by the diversity in our board. We have gender parity, representation from a variety of different businesses, cultures, and backgrounds, and that's really exciting for our chamber. I'm very excited tonight to celebrate the man of the hour, Collin Pullar. Collin's a thoughtful and strategic leader, and the Chamber's in very good hands. He's a champion for business, and he's an advocate for diversity and innovation. I know Collin will take the baton and will continue to lead this organization in some of the great ways that the chairs before us have started. If you happened to watch the American presidential inauguration yesterday, you may have heard the words of Amanda Gorman in her poem, The Hill We Climb, and I was very moved by these words. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? And as we move into 2021, having dealt with some of the most challenging times that we could have imagined, I'm very hopeful because I know in this community we've supported each other and we've changed and we've grown. And I know that moving forward, we will be in this together. So thank you to all of the members and sponsors for continuing to support the work of the Regina Chamber. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Now you get to join the chairs table, hopefully at the next year when we get to convene, I should say past chairs table. And thank you so much for your leadership. Very, very difficult times. No one knew at this time last year what would entail, and the steady hand at the till as you've had significant meetings and as this business chambers continue to lead throughout this community. Next, we have what we're actually waiting for, which is the oath of office. And so I'll call up our fabulous Vice Chair-elect, Ms. Lori Ireland, the CFO of AGT Food and Ingredients, and then we'll have our incoming chair, Mr. Collin Pullar, President of Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association, and administering the oaths of office, we have the Mayor of Regina, Mayor Masters.
Good evening, Lori,
Hello.
and congratulations.
Thank you.
Ready?
Yep.
Here we go. I swear that I will faithfully and truly perform my duty
I swear that I will faithfully and truly perform my duty
as Vice Chair of the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce,
as Vice Chair of the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce,
and that I will, in all matters
and that I will, in all matters,
connected with the discharge of such duty,
connected with the discharge of such duty,
do all things and such things only,
do all things and such things only,
as I shall truly and conscientiously
as I shall truly and conscientiously
believe to be adopted
believe to be adopted,
to promote the objects
to promote the objects
for which the said chamber was constituted,
for which the said chamber was constituted,
according to the true intent and meaning of the same.
according to the true intent and meaning of the same,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Well done. Ready?
I am.
I swear that I will faithfully and truly perform my duty
I swear that I will faithfully and truthfully perform my duty
as Chair of the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce,
as Chair of the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce,
and that I will, in all matters,
and that I will in all matters
connected with the discharge of such duty,
connected with the discharge of such duties,
do all things and such things only,
do all things and such things only,
as I shall truly and conscientiously
as I shall truly and conscientiously
believe to be adopted
believe to be adopted
to promote the objects
to promote the objects
for which the said chamber was constituted,
for which the said chamber was constituted,
according to the true intent and meaning of the same.
according to the true intent and meaning of the same.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm Collin Pullar. My day job is I'm the president of the Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association, and really excited to be stepping in the role as chair for the Regina District Chamber of Commerce. Well, the construction industry has got such a big impact in the economy, and from day to day there's lots of risks that happen on construction sites, and our association, what we do is we work with companies to help them prepare their plans for how they address risks, and reducing risk on the work site is a major portion of what we do. I lead a team of about 40 staff in the province, and as president, responsible for all the administration and marketing, and we've got some great team members that work with companies throughout the province. So a big part of what I do is keeping them together. We've done a lot of cool things in the area of technology and incorporating things like mobile apps and other tools to make it really effective for companies. Diagnostics, analytics, and so companies are able to actually take what they're learning and apply them to make their businesses actually run better. At the SCSA, we do a lot of partnership work with different groups, post-secondary institutions. We work with the Joseph Rimet School of Construction, with the Saskatchewan Polytechnic, and a lot of stuff in the area of leadership development is where we've been able to partner with them. We also been able to partner with tech companies, local tech companies, and building out cool tools, whether it be with virtual reality tools to allow people to learn in really safe environments, but they kind of get to do some cool and risky things too. My involvement with groups like the University of Regina Business Schools and their leadership council has been really a neat area where we're able to inject thoughts around safety into leadership, and a big portion of what we do is about that. Even our mission statement and vision statement include that about constructing safety leadership. I've been pretty lucky. I grew up in Regina, went to school at Tom. I graduated from there, went to university here at the University of Regina, and had really supportive family. My mom and my wife have been big fans, and really kind of pushed me to do my best in the community. So had a chance to get involved with sports and build some really cool relationships. Have been a lot of fun, whether it be again through sport or through business. The thing about sports and about challenging yourself through sport, there's a lot of character building that happens. You've got to put yourself through really challenging circumstances in order to get stronger or faster, or whatever your particular pursuit is in a sport or activity that you do. I think the disciplines and the practice of discipline have really helped me work through other problems, whether it's been working with a team through a challenge, or just dealing with adversity and understanding that there's always going to be some pain for you to get before you get to some level of benefit. And so, right now, Regina's, and as much as the rest of the country, has been going through some really significant challenges in the current times of COVID. And it's that constant working and that diligence that's really the things that are going to get us through this period. Staying disciplined, really being able to finding ways to support each other. That's the kind of things that I've learned through sport, and so that's why I'm a big fan of getting involved in sport and staying engaged with it, whether coaching somebody or encouraging somebody through it, or just strapping on and competing myself. I'm really excited about being able to work in the Regina community, and I've had the opportunity to work with other groups like the Regina Exhibition Association Limited, and it's such a central part of our community. Many of the big life events they've had growing up in Regina have been around Real, whether it be the first time at the Queen City X or first football game or being at weddings or graduations. They've always been around that particular building, and a lot of people aren't as familiar with Real, but you know, it's 102 acres of some really incredible experiences for people. And you know, really excited about being on that board as well. I've had the privilege to be with them, and really seeing 15 years out in the future. You know, working with the team there to kind of build a strategy where we can see a lot of great future developments and really great opportunities for folks to come and be entertained, but also have the impact in the community in terms of business. Hospitality is such a huge portion of the Regina business sector, and the things that happen, whether it be at Mosaic Stadium or the ITC or Queensbury, are things that draw people to the city. They fill our restaurants, they fill our hotels, and really excited about being involved with that and seeing the connection between that organization and business broadly. Well, I mean, I grew up playing football in high school, and that was all great, and then later got involved in strength training and competitive powerlifting, which has been kind of the fun alter ego for myself. I've had a chance to travel to other parts of the world and compete with people from other countries. And so that's just something that I've done as a bit of an outlet for myself. It's, again, like another alter ego. Somebody has, eventually I got tagged with a nickname called a shark. And it's really all about an attitude that, and a character that I've had some fun with. People have, it's grown into something that I didn't really expect, so people have sent me socks with sharks on them, and I've got sharks in my office and little toy sharks, and even family have given me a shark license plate, and so it's been kind of a fun little character that's kind of followed me throughout the sport, and anytime I've got a chance to compete, for some reason that's kind of hung on and turned into a whole other character. So it's a whole other side of me that that's just kind of my fun thing that I do. Well, one of the things that I've been learning through kind of my leadership journey is really being thoughtful in how we approach challenges. And I think being involved with the Chamber has given me an opportunity to see that on a broader scale. The Chamber is a really great focal point for camaraderie for those who are involved in business in Regina. It's got such a huge history in this city, and as a matter of fact, the Chamber existed before the city existed. And it was this collection of people who got together, were very thoughtful about what they wanted to see in terms of how they worked together as businesses and how eventually they built a community. So that thoughtfulness, that future focus are things that have attracted me as a person who's involved in leadership in terms of a role. But I think that the Chamber is able to actually demonstrate, and I think some of the things that our members really benefit from is that thoughtful, methodical approach to how we deal with business problems. The team at the Chamber have been absolutely phenomenal. John and his team have consistently, over time, has been able to be a leader, not just here in Regina, but been recognized throughout the country for its leadership on key challenges that are facing us, whether it has to do with taxation or other business problems, and even in today, in the midst of COVID, just in terms of being responsive to our members' needs and actually getting ahead so members have an opportunity to get information or the tools that they need to be successful.
Now that Collin has been sworn in and we've got to hear from him in video, we get to hear from him directly, but I'm told I was supposed to condense a 10-page resume into a 1-page bio, and so I will try. It is now my privilege to introduce our incoming chair. Collin is a proud resident of Regina. He holds a Master's of Business Administration from the Levine Graduate School of Business, where I had the privilege of going to grad school with him just over 11 years ago. He has a master's certificate in public management from the Johnson Shoyama Graduate School of Public Policy and recently earned the corporate director's designation through the Institute of Corporate Directors. In 2000, he joined the Labour Market and Social Development Program at Service Canada and then went on to become the regional director, directing 15 million annual skills development and immigration budgets. This work specifically aimed to support business stabilization, economic projects, and new business attraction in key growth sectors. Since 2014, Collin has served as president of the Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association, leading the industry-funded, membership-based nonprofit organization in providing construction safety training, advisory, and auditing services to more than 9,000 companies in Saskatchewan. In 2019, the organization was named one of Saskatchewan's top employers and received further recognition, being named Construction Safety Experts of the Year, Prairie Provinces by Build magazine. Collin serves throughout the community and throughout Saskatchewan in a number of ways. He is a former chair of the Regina Crime Prevention Advisory Board, former vice chair of Horizon College Board of Governors. He is a current member on the Saskatchewan Labour Ministers Advisory Committee. He is a member of the Leaders Council for the Paul J. Hill School of Business and Levine Graduate School of Business. He is on the board of the Regina Exhibition Association Board, which we heard about earlier. He is a board member of the Saskatchewan Legal Aid Commission. Saskatchewan is fortunate to have a leader that has chosen to connect his work to serving throughout his community. As you just heard, something that most people don't know, Collin has represented Canada in the International Powerlifting Federation World Championships. But you may not know this, he is the current Commonwealth champion. We are not just getting a chair, we are getting a champion. I find Collin a man of principle, family, and faith. Collin's better half wife, Terry, and he has 2 young sons, Matthew and Michael, and an amazing mother, Joyce. Please welcome with me, wherever you are. I'm hearing we have people right across the country that are tuning in. Mr. Collin Pullar, our 135th chair of this Regina and District Chamber of Commerce. Now, Collin, you get the big gavel.
I'm just going to Lysol wipe it, Collin, and I will pass it on to you. Congratulations.
Oh, man, thank you, sir. Wow. This is a big gavel. I didn't realize, I forgot it was this big. I feel like I should be wearing safety glasses and a hard hat while I'm doing this, but pass it on to, thank you. Wow. Thank you, Victor. Thanks, Sarah. And many thanks to His Honor, Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Premier, Parliamentary Secretary Fergus, Derek Myers on behalf of SaskTel, Member of Parliament Warren Steinley, and Mayor Masters for your kind words and really supportive words. I know it's hard to tell, but I am blushing right now. And I do very much look forward to working with you and others who've passed their greetings on this evening over this next year. And I thank you all for your support and responsiveness to the needs of Regina businesses, particularly this time, and responding in terms of programming and listening and jointly creating ideas. There's probably never been a more critical time than right now for this kind of collaboration. And understanding between business, community, and the institutions that support all of us. I also want to just thank all of you for connecting, our past chairs, other dignitaries that have tuned in this evening, and very much appreciate your time this evening. COVID-19 has obviously changed how we've had to do a lot of things tonight. I hope that you're at home watching this in your favorite business lounge wear and having some takeout and enjoying whatever comfortable chair you like to curl up in. While I wanted to keep my remarks relatively brief, I also wanted to express that we have a lot of reasons to be proud of each other tonight and a lot of reasons to be excited about our Chamber of Commerce. 135 years is a pretty long time, and as members of this community, we've seen and experienced a great deal over this period. COVID-19 has no doubt changed our lives in ways and at a pace that most of us did not really imagine. It's become crystal clear that as we work through and emerge from this pandemic, things are going to be different. The rapid pace of change that we've become accustomed to is now even further accelerated to the point of giving us a form of whiplash. It's changed the way that we communicate with our families and our friends. It's concerning that it's isolated a lot of people that we care about. And even while it's brought others closer together, and it's caused us to realize and appreciate a lot of the blessings that we've had all along. Some of our businesses were well positioned to take advantage of the change, but many, such as those in our hospitality, entertainment, and small business sector, have had major trials and job losses. Unfortunately, as even said this evening, many of us have experienced a lot of personal loss and grief. We've lost close friends, we've lost coworkers, we've lost loved ones from this awful virus. Times like this can seem pretty dark. And during the next year or so, we'll continue to have these same challenges. But I ask you to hold on, and I ask you to be faithful. If I can say, our chamber and our broader community has had times like this before. Over the last 135 years, we've had such things as 2 world wars, where this city and the communities around it sacrificed so many of its young people. We've had a cyclone in 1912. We've had a Spanish flu about 100 years ago, which took many lives. We've had the dirty 30s and the Great Depression. My wife's grandparents lived through that and literally brought this community to its knees. But somehow, its citizens bonded with a common belief, faith, and resiliency that we would see this thing through. They would rebuild, and our generation today has benefited from the legacy that they've left from that. When my own mom, who's the Grandma Joyce referred to, and my dad, who passed away, when they immigrated in the early 70s, they made their way to Regina in about 1975. And they hoped to create their own legacy. They started their own little businesses. They became vested and dedicated to this community. They quietly went about their work. They got involved in church and other causes. They raised us kids, and they became the block parents in our neighborhood. And while having very long separations from their own family, they developed a resiliency. They learned to adapt. They learned to reinvent themselves and became creative in their newfound home. Our chamber family, through every crisis, got through a better place because they learned how to adapt, to get a broader perspective, and if necessary, reinvent itself so that it and our members and those who benefit from this membership can remain relevant, creative, and take advantage of new opportunities that inevitably emerge after times like this. I'm excited to say that your chamber board and staff have been preparing and adapting to help guide us through a very difficult period. As said earlier, the diversity of our board, of your board, is one of the key strengths with men and women who are entrepreneurs and business leaders across the agri-food and tech business, automotive, finance, corporate law, tax, property management and development, warehousing, distribution, energy, from small startups to some of our largest employers in this city. Your board team has members whose direct ancestry is both from this land and from around the world, and their collective perspectives will be critical in helping us navigate the current today here at home, but also help position our businesses for the future to be more effective and supply the world as we emerge from this pandemic. If I can just briefly introduce our board. Mr. Jason Dittman, owner of Microwage, Ms. World De Silva, corporate lawyer with Miller Thompson, Mr. Eric Clark, CFO of Calia Flowers, Ms. Ozma Gellan, tax management with MNP, Mr. Kyle Addison with Mitchell Developments, Chief Cadmus Delorme of Cowessess First Nation, Ms. Erin Vaughn, owner of Kinetic Auto Service, Mr. Scott Seifer, general manager with Loblaw, Ms. Carrie Bodie, partner with South Country Equipment, our new vice chair, who you met earlier, Ms. Laurie Ireland, CFO of AGT Foods, and our past chair, now, is Sarah Chikachik, who over the last year has been preparing me for this. She and I have had several conversations over the last year, and if for nothing else, just to give each other support, as we've also had to deal with challenges within the organizations that we've had to lead during this pandemic. And I thank you so much, and thank you so much for all those conversations. This team is really committed to ensuring that your voice is heard. Our CEO, John, who's well known throughout Canada as a major leader amongst nearly 500 chambers in this country, has also positioned the team over the last several months to have increased strength in policy, communications, and membership support capacity. This has been a very strategic step for us to ensure that the Chamber brings the most relevance and value to our members and position us well as we navigate through these times. Thanks again to John, but with the support of Jeanette and Bree, Lisa, Christina, Tony, and Nicole for your adaptability, your leadership, and dedication during, again, what's been one of our most challenging periods in our history. Information, advocacy, networks, and relationship are tremendous value to our members. If you're not already a member, I strongly encourage you to talk to our team about becoming one. I'd also like to thank our board members who now left the board, I think in a much better place than when they first joined. Ms. Sally Hauser, Navigator, Mr. Tody Plater of Outlaw Communications, who has now joined the team with John, Ms. Val Watson from Deloitte, and our past chair, Mr. Ahmed Malik of MLT, who also gave tremendous support to Sarah and I over this last year. I just want to thank all of you for giving yourselves to this business community. Time is such a precious thing, and very grateful for you giving it to all of us. Again, as our Premier had said, the next 12 months will be tough. I look forward to the day, though, that we'll be able to get back together, shake hands, hug, eat some food together, and simply just enjoy each other's company in one of our chamber events. For now, though, we've got to stay diligent. We've got to keep in keeping physically, emotionally, and psychologically healthy, and being sure that our fellow business owners, partners, employees have the support so that they can stay the same. Together, let's lead, empower, and connect with one another. As I pass the podium back to Victor, I just want to thank him for his ongoing support and promotion of this business community. He's moved on to other very big roles and promoting and growing trade relationships between Canada and India. But he's just so committed to this city and the people of this province. As mentioned earlier, Saskatchewan's got a special relationship in trade with India. It's just such an important piece of what we do here. I want to thank you for being here again, and I just appreciate your friendship over the last number of years from when we met in class, probably 12 years ago. Thank you for guiding this evening's event. I will hand it back to you, and everyone, please have a great and safe Regina evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Collin. And thank you very much for showcasing your wonderful and diverse board. I must just take a moment and say thank you, Grandma Joyce, for coming in 1975 and raising such a fine son. This event, of course, would not take place without Jeanette Tanita, who is tireless. If you've been around chamber events, she's always there. She's always in the background. She's always doing so much, but she never wants to be seen. So I'll just mention her. And of course, our sponsors, we heard earlier about SaskTel, but also McDougall-Gawley, RBC, CTV, and we have here ProAV, and I just want to recognize Colson and Cody. This year, of course, the Chamber is going to continue to do events and activities, and the Paragon will continue on September 10th, 2021, and it will be the 22nd annual. So if you want to nominate and you want to apply, please contact the Chamber to get involved. And even though we're in the midst of some tough times, help us celebrate success. I, of course, want to thank every one of you for attending tonight, wherever you are, this special and historic 135th Annual Chairs Gala. And as Collin said, in your whatever business attire you might be in, I want you to have a very good night and, of course, have a wonderful Regina evening. Take care.